What up, you Bachata animals? Rudy here with RedBear and today we have a lovely tutorial all about how to do great turns. Here's a turn, specifically an inside turn. That's what we're going to be working on today. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, or the other way. 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a big difference between turns and spins. Notice a turn is with steps. We're going to step, 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 or the other way, step, step, step. Whereas a spin is all on one. Watch this. All on one foot. So we're not going to be learning spins today. That's going to be on a different tutorial. Today is all about the turns. This video is going to be just giving you information. The next video is going to be all drilling that information. So this one's going to be quick, it's going to be condensed, it's going to be great for referencing all the information you need to make a great turn. So, biggest thing, we're going to start slow, and then we're going to add complexity. For these turns, if you don't know your basic bachata body motion, your basic weight shifts, there's going to be another video I'm going to link down in the description below, all about how to get your left, right, left, 1, 2, 3. Real quick, we're going to start, I'm going to mirror you guys, with our weight on our right. And then we're going to shift left, right, left, right, left, right, holding a beat on each end. So this would be 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 5, 6, 7, hold 8. Our turns are going to follow the exact same weight shift pattern. Left, right, left, tap. I'm going to get back on camera. Here we go. And then the same thing the other way. Right, left, right, and tap. Before we get there are two main things we need to know. Really three, but we can't focus on too much at once. First one is we need to get our heels off the ground. Here's how we're going to do that. We're going to stand with our feet directly below our hip joints. And then I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. We're going to shift our weight forward and back until we feel the balls of our feet. Heels are going to stay on the ground for now. We're still touching, but the weight is on the ball. And then, with no changing in height does not go up or down, we're going to channel Michael Jackson real quick, sending our knees forward. Just like that to get the heels off the ground. Try it with me a couple times. Here we go. Again. Check your height, make sure it's not changing. That's exactly how we want to get our heels off the ground anytime we're turning, or really anytime we're pivoting or spinning or doing any sort of rotation type motion with the bottom of our feet on the ground. Second component is we need to do something called a preparation, or a prep for short. Here's how we'll do this. I'm going to count 1, 2, and 3. When I hit 3, I want you to jump up in the air. I'll do it with you. Here we go. Get ready. 1, 2, 3. Way up in the air. So, what did you notice? When did you start moving? I asked you to go that way on 3, but that's not what you did. You went this way first, maybe 2, maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later. You got ready to jump, and then you jumped on 3. That's what the preparation is. That's what the prep is. Small motion in the opposite direction, a beat or so ahead of the main thing you want to do. And that's true especially for turns, it's true for anything. So, if we're going to do our basic real quick, let's just do 1 full 8 count, and then we'll wind up for a turn on this side. Basic. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the prep for a turn. We wind up a little bit the opposite direction so that we're ready to go on 1 into our turn. This is maybe 30 degrees, maybe 20, maybe 45, depends on you. Enough to be noticeable that your frame, where your shoulders are pointing, where that arrow in your chest, that it's pointing off to the side. It's not straight anymore. That's really all we need. So then we're going to wind up. We tap our 8. Our first step for our turn is going to be an opening of the hip. We open the hip, stepping on our left foot with the heel off the ground, and we're pointing to the side wall. This is going to be 90 degrees. Then we take that other foot, that right foot, bring it around on the left, and here's toward the back. Here's the hard one. We're going to take that left foot and bring it around all the way behind us, continuing in the left direction. Now the heel is going to come down into the ground, signifying the turn is done. That's going to be our 3, and then we tap 4, and we're done. So this turn is in 3 steps, not 4. It's in 3. We're done by 3. Let's try it from the other direction. We're going to do half of the basic. We're going to wind up and then slowly go through the turn. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got a nice prep. And then we open the hip, stepping on the left toward the sidewall at 90 degrees. Then we take our other foot for, it's going to be steady. 6, sorry, 6, I can't count. Now our legs are on our left, both heels off the ground, we're toward the backward. Then we take our right foot, bring it around all the way behind us. This is the 7th or 3rd step, count 7. Putting that heel down into the ground, signifying the turn is done, and then we tap our 8 and we are done. Here's how it looks all together. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the basics of a turn. The simplest parts of it, just getting around. There's a whole bunch we can do to make it better. So some of the very simple things that we can practice is we can practice this hip opening and closing on each side. Just like on our regular basic, we open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. Same thing for a turn, but with our hip opening and closing. We're going to open on the first step, close on the second, open on the third, close on the fourth. Open, close, open, close. To practice this, stand with your feet below your hip joints, the balls of your feet specifically, bending both knees a little bit, getting the heels off the ground by sending the knees forward, and then we can open our hips and close our hips. To do this well in balance, we want to be fully upright and straight, not leaning forward, not at all, but upright, straight. Open the hips, close the hips, heels are off the ground the whole time. This will help build that hip motion and give you a little bit more stability and balance. So now, once we have our turn, we can start making it better and better and better and better. There are 5 things I like to teach to help make the turn better. I call these focus items. When we practice, we're going to think about one thing and one thing only. We're going to focus on one of these focus items. You can have a big list, maybe somewhere on your mirror, in post-it notes, but you only pick up one at a time and focus on that. The rest you kind of forget about. They're going to do what they're going to do, and then you take that second focus item after you forget about the first one and really focus on that one. Then forget about that one, get the next one, just like that. So here are our 5 focus items and how they can make your turns better. The very first one is going to be to have a tight core, meaning we're going to pretend we're a metal rod. And these 5 focus items are going to tell a story. This is the first part. Be the metal rod. So normally when we dance our bachata, our core is fairly relaxed and loose, allowing for all this motion. Nice and relaxed. There is engagement, but it's not stiff and held. However, when we turn, we want to turn on a lot of parts of our body and just be stiff. The core is one of the most important. You can also stiffen up around your knees, stiffen up around your quads, all through your legs, those Kegel muscles, suck an egg up in there. But for now, we're just going to think about the core. The timing of this, when we do that prep, 7, 8, still relaxed. And then when we start the turn going back, we're going to tighten and hold it 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 and hold it. And then when the turn is done, then we relax. This is the very first component. So let's try it a couple times. It's really in the next video where we're just going to drill it back and forth. This is just giving you the information. So we're going to do a basic. I'm going to wind us up and we're going to tighten and hold the core until we're done with the turn. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tight, tight, tight. Relax. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Tight, tight, tight. Relax. Just like that. That's how we want to have that nice tight core. Now, focus item number 2. This one, instead of being that metal rod, we're going to put a little bit of a groove in that metal rod and turn it into a drill bit. So now, instead of just turning, we're going to go down a little bit while we turn drilling into the ground. There are 3 different ways you can turn with regards to height. I'll show you. Here is option 1. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Should have noticed my height went up. That's sending the energy up. That's a very elevated way to dance. That's going to be your ballroom. That's going to be your ballet. But that's not going to be your bachata, which is ground. Option 2, we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Very flat. It works all right, but the effect is that you don't have quite as much stability and balance as you do when you're going either up or down. And in bachata, because it's a very grounded dance, we tend to like to go down into the ground, really drilling. And this is a smooth and gradual drill, down 1, 2, up 3, 4. And it's not a sharp drop and then a rise, but smooth and gradual down, smooth and gradual up. Here it is. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you should have seen a slight down and a slight up. Down 1, 2, up 3, 4, down 5, 6, up 7, 8. That's our second focus item. We have 1, become the metal rod, tight core. 2, become the drill bit. Drill down under the ground a little bit while you turn. And now, focus item number 3. We want to be able to drill in a straight line. We want to be able to turn in a straight line. A nice way to practice this is to put down some tape, put the balls of your feet on that tape, pick your head back up. We don't want to dance looking down at the ground. We pick our head back up, and then we do our basic. 1, 2, 3, check. How'd you do? Are you still on the line? If not, maybe you need to start working on your basic a little bit. But if you're still there, very cool. Then we're going to do the turn 1 step at a time. We wind up, we take a step, and then you check. Did I land on the tape? If so, very cool. Take the next one. Check. How do I do? Uh-oh, I'm a little bit off. That means I got to rewind it. And we take the first step. Check. How'd you do? Very nice. Pick the head back up. Take the next step. How'd you do? Very nice. Take the head back up. Take the next step. How'd you do? Very nice. And then do the turn the other way as well, 1 step at a time. Once you're able to do 1 step at a time, then we take every step. 1, 2, 3, making sure we end up on the line at the end. The worst thing you can do is watch the line the whole time. This is going to mess up your turn. You're not that metal rod anymore, so we want to make sure we keep our head up, our chest up, nice and straight. This can be deceptive. Because you can take a turn and end up in the right place, but that second step's going to be messed up. Check this out. 1, 2, way over here, but then I correct. No problem, right? Well, it's not so good. We want to have control. We want to have balance, so it's good to practice turning in that straight line. That's our 3rd focus item. So, now for the 4th one. Instead of just a straight line, we also want to be able to turn with precision. Small space. So now, every step of our turn, we want to be able to land right next to the other foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How we can practice this one at home? Get some tape, draw a 2-foot by 2-foot box. Then do your basic in the box. Make sure you can do that. If you can't do your basic, it's going to be really hard to do the turns. Then you practice some turns in that 2-foot by 2-foot box, aiming to stay within it. If that's a struggle, make the box a little wider. If you're able to do this very comfortably and easily, then make the box a little smaller, maybe 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet. That's our fourth focus item, small turns. So we have, once again, number one, tight core. Number two, drilling down into the ground just a little bit. Number three, turning in a straight line. And number four, turning in a small space. Very, very important skill to develop. And finally, number five, we want to know where we're ending. Where are we stopping our turn? This is going to be spotting, watch my head, option one, option two. Option one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Option 2, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't even know. Oh, there you go. So, we want to make sure we know with our head and our eyes exactly where the turn is going. We're going to know exactly, boom, it's going to be right there even on the prep. Hold, 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 hold out of the very periphery of your vision, about 2.5. That's when you're going to whip and catch it on the other side and hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold. Here it is, again, slow. 7, 8, 1, 2, whip, 3, 4, 5, 6, whip, 7, 8. And if this is going really fast for you, I know it is, don't worry. The next video is going to be all drills. It's going to be all about how to drill this back and forth, and it's going to be a much longer video. This one's just to give you the information. So once again, our turning story that we can tell ourselves to help remember all these focus items. Number one, become the metal rod, tight core. Maintain the tight core when you turn. Number two, become a drill bit. Now, drilling down on the ground just a little bit throughout the turn. Just a little bit. It's a millimeter. It's not a line. Number three, turning in a straight line. Every step is on that line, and every step progresses in the same direction. And then, number four, turning in a small space. Being able to have your steps right next to each other. And finally, number five, what is going on with your head? Knowing where the turn is ending, keeping your head stable, and letting it whip and catch on the other side. So, very last thing we're going to show you is differences among different types of turns that we tend to do in bachata. So, the ones we've been doing so far are all inside turns. How can we figure this out? An inside turn is going to be most easily when you don't even have a partner, when you don't even have your bachata space, when you don't have the left, right walls of our bachata. We can think about what happens with our hip. If our hip opens into the first step, that's going to be an inside turn. Watch. 7, 8, hip opens. This is an inside turn. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Or the other way, hip opens. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. We also have outside turns, which now, instead of the hip opening, the hips can close. This is going to be our outside turns. We would wind up the opposite direction because we're turning the opposite direction. So now instead of winding up over here 7, 8, we're going to wind up over here 7, 8, and then 1, closing the hip, 2, bring them back together, 3, 4, and then the other way, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once again, don't stress about it too much. I'm going to make a whole video on these alternate turns and practicing them. Just want to show you the differences. Another common turn is a check turn, where we, one second, let me get back to this side, where we start as if we're doing a regular inside turn, and then we say, psych, we're not going that way, we're actually going to go the other way. That's going to be our check turn. Here it is. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then, very last, we have spins. So big difference between turns and spins. Turns are stepped. Step, step, step. Step, step, step. That's a turn. Whereas a spin is all on one, whether on the left or on the right. It's all on one. So that's a brief introduction to how do we turn well, and the various different things we can focus on to practice our turns. The upcoming video, the next one in the series, is going to be all about just drilling those different things. Drilling turns, drilling focus items, drilling all the various different options about how do we do these things well and practice at home. Thank you all so much for joining me. Once again, my name is Rudy RedBear with RedBear Dance, and if you appreciate these videos, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, check the information down below for all my social media, my Patreon. If you would support, that helps, as well as other relevant videos. Thank you so much.